Good morning, Warriors! Back with another episode of Vigor Warriors 2 and the 1% Club. Hope you guys are doing well today. Hope you guys had a nice weekend. It's getting nice and cool here in the Midwest. I hope you guys are enjoying the weather if you're in the Midwest or anywhere you're at. I hope you guys are enjoying the weather. So, thank you so much. I just can't express how grateful I feel. I think we're over 1,400 subscribers, all kinds of views and likes and everything. So thank you so much. A shout out to a bunch of people who've helped me, with ideas. Dex, thank you for your idea. My son as well gave me an idea about tagging things. I don't really have a clue on a lot of this stuff, to be honest with you guys, so I'm just kind of trying to get the message out there. My job is a content. I think I'm going to try to get some people to help me with production and things like that as we go along. I'm not going to monetize until I'm well over, like 10,000, whatever it might be. I think I'm waiting. I'm not really that interested in doing it. The only reason I would ask for any kind of, monetary type of gain is to try to build production so this comes better. Right now I'm just doing it on my phone, so we're kind of trying to get the message out. That's the most important thing. All that stuff will come later on if we need to and do it that way. So anyway, my friends, the idea is that we're trying to talk about semen retention. And I got a bunch of shout outs again. Guys, I have not caught up with all the last week's stuff. So if you sent me something, I'll have to go back and look at it. And topics I'll have to look at as well. But I'm still catching up on some past ones the week before. So shout out to Tension Ascension Jiu-Jitsu, thank you. Sam XBT, thank you. Aaron Rich, Jackie Chan, which we'll talk about one time this week. John the Dawn, Jake Wittenberg, thank you. Dallas Teague, Leo, Gospel Ninja 2.0, and Big Timon. Thank you guys all for your comments, and we'll continue to give out shout outs as we go along here. We got a bunch of them, and I got to add a bunch this week as well. So thank you guys for all your comments, likes, the comments, appreciation, things like that. Now for the agenda for this week coming up, we're gonna try to do more because I'm off a few days, so I'm gonna try to do a couple a day if I can. We have this week we're going to talk about one that was been asked me several times, and I was kind of hesitant to talk about it only because it kind of adds to the temptation part of things. But then on the other hand, I think many of us men are kind of, we're not really, how should I say it? We're not educated in attraction and female attraction, things like that. So I want to kind of talk about this a little bit and give you guys some signs of when women are attracted to you. And I got this from High Value Man and a few other types of videos. So I'm going to kind of give some shout outs to those guys as well with this. But we'll talk about that today. Catholic Charities, Truth Seeker asked one about celibacy. I think we're going to go into that a little bit. I think that goes along with Brahmacharya and Sophism, all the same principle. We'll talk about that. Nocturnal emissions and SR, we'll talk about that. Sam XBT, create a heel inspired. John the Down, I think it's John Down. Sorry about that. We're gonna talk about that one a little bit. Guy identifies with a lion. I'm going to talk about that one a little bit. The price you pay under SR. My Mojo sent one in that technology. And SR Jackie Chan. We'll talk about that. And then cut out toxic people. We'll talk about that with Leo. Set that one in too. So, and we got a bunch of them. So we'll try to catch up during this holiday season. Try to do a couple if we can a day, and go that way. So, all right. So, signs that women are attracted to you. Now, why in the world we're talking about this? Well, thinking about this, and I know this just watching my daughters, and just looking at girls as they grow up to women. They focus on boys. My daughters did, I don't know, age 11, 12. They started kind of analyzing boys. They started trying to figure out boys who become men at some point, which is why you end up seeing a lot of women, a lot of girls are a lot more mature than boys at those younger ages. And a lot of times, and I know in my case, I didn't get married until I was in my mid to late 20, almost 30. So, I mean, honestly, I wasn't mature enough for any kind of relationship or anything like that. I mean, I just wanted to have fun and things like that in my 20s, which a lot of guys are like that. So the thing is that women have a big edge when it comes to this early on. And this is why sitting there and wasting time playing games, all kinds of stuff, and people out there trying to, play games. There is no really advantage to that. And certainly if we take that into the area of semen retention, you have big possibilities of losing a lot of your energy. And really, what is the purpose gained? So I said, well, okay, let's talk about this. I've had some questions on this as time has gone on. How do you know when you're being tempted, or how do you know when someone likes you? How do you know this message? Because a lot of times, even in this new era, new age of whatever you want to call it, women are just not that assertive. They're afraid of rejection, as well as guys used to be always afraid of rejection. And so they're not going to go ahead and just say something. Some will, of course, but a lot won't. And so they're going to give you signs non-verbally, which allows you to say, okay, I can go ahead and talk with this person, or I can go ahead and say, okay, there's something here. And a lot of times, as I've always said, women really have a lot more control than they think they do in this world. They're the ones kind of making the choices, especially early age. Once they get to the wall part in the 30s, well, then it's a little different type of story. But still, they're the ones really trying to send those messages out, because really when it comes down to procreation, a big part of it is a woman. They want to have children. They want to go ahead and continue the generation. So a lot of times they need the right kind of male to do that. So they're looking for that type of male. And that's just, unfortunately, for our standpoint, we don't understand a lot of that as men. It's not part of our education growing up. It wasn't at least part of mine. Maybe you guys had that, but I didn't have that kind of stuff. They're telling me about, well, is this girl interested in the not interested? So I've seen a lot more research on this over the years. And so there's 10 or 12 points that I think is important. And I agree with a lot of these. I think it's something important for you to catch on. Now, why do I say this? Well, I think it's important for you to look at this and say, okay, if you know that a woman is interested, you're not going to be caught by surprise. You know the birds are flying over your head. They're always flying over your head. Guys, if you have any level as a warrior, any level of warriorism, I call it, that's a new word to make up. Any level of warriorism in you, you're going to draw women. I mean, it is inevitable, because you have that power. You have that energy. I don't care if they're young, old, doesn't really matter. They're all going to flock to you at some point in different ways. Now, you may not even notice many of them are asking for your attention, because a lot of times you may be oblivious. And this is why some people would say they may not experience the benefits. Well, I think part of it is that we don't always recognize, unless it hits us in the face, that someone's interested. So I said, okay, let's do something about indicating that if a woman is interested. Now, what do you do with this information? Well, before we start talking about this, what do you do with this? You have to make a choice. And we're all in different situations. So I'm the last person to judge anybody in any situation. I don't believe that's something that God wants us to do. You guys live and work with God yourself individually, and we all have different situations. So these things that I'm saying to you may help you. And it might be interesting to kind of say, okay, maybe I'm interested in a relationship with somebody. Then go ahead and use these to kind of gauge whether that person's interested in you or not. If not, then the other thing is take it as flattery. And I think we had someone say that in one of the comments recently. Take it as flattery. Take it as, I'm flattered by this, and it's time to move on to something else. But it's nice to see that women are attracted to me. That kind of builds your confidence, and also reinforces that this is a good thing that you're on this journey as far as making opportunities. And one day, if you need that relationship types of thing again, or you want to get married again, it just depends on your situation. Obviously, I would not use it to just go ahead and say, okay, I'm interested in sleeping around, because now you're opening the doors up to a lot of situations you don't want to do. And so it's always a matter of catching yourself and stopping those type of behaviors, so you're not at that point. Because all of a sudden, before you know it, then you're down that wrong path, and all of a sudden now you're being tempted again. Now all of a sudden now you got a chance to release again, and now you're going back to kind of going back to square one, trying to get back that discipline. All right, so let's look at this. So first of all, I think a shout out to High Value Man. I think it's wonderful that they're putting out videos like this. It kind of educates us about things going on. Now, not all of these are absolute truths, and I don't think anybody's got that type of thing. A lot of times it's up to the woman or the man to show their attractiveness, and they'll show it in different ways, of course. And obviously, those type of things. But here's some to think about. One is smiling. So the first thing is smiling, and I think smile is one of those nonverbal behaviors that is universal. If a woman sees you and they start smiling, if you look at them with your energy and they start smiling, then you know that they're attracted. Now, whether they act upon that doing anything else, they may just walk by you, but they will smile because they understand who you are. Now, they may be in a different situation in their life. They may not be really interested in something, but they are attracted. And again, I'm saying this so that you understand why the temptation comes your way, because of that energy. Second one, they perhaps will run their fingers through the hair. It's another one that I think is a good one, because they're nervous. They sense the energy. The tension and energy is just overwhelming, and they're doing something. They don't want to show their cards. They don't want to show they're attracted, but they will run their fingers through the hair. Number 3, expose their neck. Once again, this is more of a sensual type of thing, and they're more able to kind of open themselves up to you, and from a nonverbal standpoint, show that they're interested. And once again, if you're going out somewhere with them and they're showing, their neck, and obviously they're wearing seductive type of clothes, that's the case. So again, be aware of this. Now, how you proceed is up to you. But again, I want to make sure that what I'm doing is kind of giving you all kinds of information to help. And when I see something like this, I like this information that a high value man is doing here. A shooting glance, right? Sometimes they will glance at you. Now, we know in semen retention, they'll get to the point where staring at you because they sense the energy and they can't stop it. And that's something you got to keep an eye on, because they will do it. But those shooting glances also, they'll shoot a glance, they'll look away, they'll shoot a glance because they're very interested. And you can sense that. You can sense that from a long distance away, so that's important. Licking her lips, of course, another one. Now, these are things that you may not notice. A lot of guys, we're clueless, guys. I'll be honest with you, we are clueless. I've taught communication for years at the college level, so this is the only reason I was interested in looking this up and finding all this stuff over the years. But a lot of times you don't notice this stuff. You don't notice the eye contact. You don't notice this kind of stuff. And this is why I think it's important for men, as they're being educated about the MGTOW movement, as they're being educated about semen retention, also to be educated about how women communicate to you. And I think that this is something that is key for you then to be able to have that information in your pocket to say, can I make the next decision? And the decision is up to you, of course, but you have to be aware of the consequences of the decisions we all make. Nervous, obviously a person's nervous, they'll shake their legs, they're all kinds of stuff, they'll twitch, all kinds of interesting things they'll do because they're nervous, because they sense this abundant energy around you and they just can't handle it. Remember, guys, we're energy, they're energy, everybody's energy. And so if you see something with massive amounts of energy, it's like you're overloaded. And all of a sudden you stand like a deer without headlights. Deer in headlights, not without headlights. A deer in headlights, and you can't move. And this is what happens. And so I go back to this crazy thing about Dracula. And the reason I keep bringing it up is because even though that's a movie thing and it's a fake type of thing, there is truth in the statement that you can actually have a woman sit there and not move. And I've seen it. It's happened to me. I've seen it. And they're almost paralyzed. Until you break it out of them, they're paralyzed. Because they don't know what they're seeing in front of you. Not in a bad way, but they don't know the energy. Now, they can see, as David Jewett says, you could see God in you. That's very possible too. But they're seeing something in you that is unusual. And nowadays, not back in the old days, it wasn't as usual. Now it's unusual. They see it. And so they can actually be hypnotized by this energy. And of course, they're going to react in nervous different ways and do that. So, number 7, I think it is, shooting glance, licking lips, nervous, inviting body language. So again, body language, if they're open and they're facing you, And they don't have their shoulders like this, and they cross their arms. They're inviting you to talk with them. You can tell when a woman is interested in talking to you. They'll look you straight in the eye. They'll be very inviting. They'll smile. You look at their eyes, the pupils will dilate because they want to see more of you. They want the light to come into you. There's a lot of these things that we should have been taught back in, I don't know, Dating 101 class. We never had one of those, but Dating 101 class. And understanding this so that you understand what's happening here. Because a lot of times we get caught in not understanding it because we're just not brought up this way. A lot of boys and men are just not brought up this way. And this is why I think part of the success of these channels and things you'd see, because there's information out there that's very valuable to men. And I taught this communication for years at the college level and the high school level. And I can't tell you how many males are just very interested in this because this is stuff we've never learned. I never learned this stuff when I was younger. I know a lot of my brothers haven't, my kids, my son hasn't, none of that stuff. Because you just don't teach that stuff. Because if that stuff got out, you realize how women really communicate with you. And I think that's part of this going back to this caveman thing we talk about, for centuries, where the male is strong, the female has to figure out ways to get control, get power at times, survive so that they survive. They're just not as physical. They're not as big in 99% of the cases. And when you look at this, they have to try to get children and protect their children and protect the homes as much as they can. And so they're looking for males that can protect and provide and do those things that they may not have time to do. And that's important to kind of look at. So this is why we keep talking about this. I realize it's a little bit off topic in some ways, but then again, it's kind of on topic in a lot of the ways. Remember small details. They remember small details about you. If they remember stuff about you, that's something that they're focusing on you. And they could be focusing on anything else. And I don't care, guys, if you're talking about if they have a boyfriend, I don't care if they're talking about if they have a husband. They are interested in you. Now, a lot of girls out there, they'll marry the nice guy, the beta male, just because they need to have someone. But what they're fantasizing about is the guy with superpowers, the guy who's an animal beast. And you are that beast. The warrior is the beast. And you may not, I'm not saying necessarily you abuse people and all that kind of stuff, but I'm saying you're the beast mentality. And you have that energy. And this is where women like that. And they're going to fantasize about that kind of stuff because no matter who they're with, they can't deny that. That's why they smile at you, because they understand that. But they also remember small details. They sit next to you, compliment you, okay? That's the whole thing. They'll sit next to you, they'll compliment you, and they'll say good things about you because they're really interested. Now, again, given the circumstances you're in, they may or may not do anything. Sometimes they will. Sometimes a lot of sort of young females out there, they will do something. Sometimes they won't. A lot of times you're the one that's going to be in control of that situation. You can say, okay, what am I going to do with this? A compliment is nice. Keep it as it is and keep moving. In my case, everything is just very flattering to me because I'm not going to, I have a wonderful wife and that's all I'm interested in right now. But I will tell you this, it's a wonderful feeling that I never used to have when females actually at my age, at 61, young females in their 20s, they're interested and they're flirting and all kinds of stuff. It's just incomprehensible to me. It used to be because of that. So it's kind of a nice feeling. It's a very flattering type of feeling to have. Let's see, what else? Try to get you to, they try to get, indirect compliments was another one I was going to say. Sit next to you, indirect compliments, they're trying to give you compliments, and that's wonderful. A lot of times, the opposite's happening when they're always criticizing you. So if you're in a relationship with somebody and they're criticizing you a lot, you probably have lost some of that edge, and I would definitely say go to Semen Retention, because I'll tell you what, you gain that respect back real fast. Tries to get your attention, of course. This is what happens. A lot of women they want your attention because they want that energy focused on them. It's like a high. It's almost like an addiction that women have to attention. And they want that attention. Now, once they start getting the attention too much, then it becomes a negative. But they want this kind of give and take play, which a lot of guys, we never brought up knowing this kind of stuff, guys. This is kind of a give and take type of thing. Take some attention, go do your stuff. then the women's even more attracted to you because of the attention thing. So I know I'm going a little bit long here, but let me finish up a little bit. Last one, make an effort to look good. So if you're with this person, they're going to make a great effort to look good, not just because they want to look good for themselves, which they probably will be as well. They want to look good for you because they realize that getting your approval is important. And I can't tell you, on this retention journey, how much nice compliments and thank yous and all kinds of communication from women that's so different, because they respect you because of what you're doing. Now they sense it. They won't say anything about it. They may not even know what they're even sensing, but they sense it, and they sense those things, and so they're going to be attracted to you. So you're going to have almost like the lion we will talk about in a few days. That lion has so many different lionesses that are interested in him. They're hanging on the guy, but he's not paying attention to him every second of the day. And guys, you shouldn't either. And because of that, they're going to be attracted to you. So it's nice to know the signs when they're attracted, because out of the blue, someone may come and all of a sudden kind of, hit on you, and you've got to react to it. So you want to make sure you're not falling yourself in a situation that you don't want to be in. So thanks for the comments on this one. And once again, a shout out to High Value Man, his videos. Please take a look at those when you get a chance. And I'm sure he's got some good information there as well. So, all right, guys, God bless you guys. Hope you guys have a great day. And we'll talk to you guys again. We'll probably try to do one either later tonight, or I'll do one tomorrow. And until next time, guys, remember that every day is a new day to a wise warrior. And battle on, my friends. Battle on until the end, and realize that you have great power. But as Spider-Man used to say, now you have to take great responsibility to understand how to use that and use it in the right ways to better mankind. So God bless you guys. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon. Take care.